Course will come to order. Kyle, would you please call the roll?
Senators Bean.
Here.
Black. Here. Bernstetter. Here. Brown. Carter. Crawford.
Here.
McCreary.
Here.
Razor.
Here.
Washington. We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Just want to thank everybody for being here today. For those here to testify on legislation, please speak into the microphone, introduce yourself, and address your comments to the committee members. Please keep your comments relative to the legislation. Once your testimony concludes, committee members will have an opportunity to ask questions. Please complete your witness appearance form on the table or online, and please leave it on the table for our committee minutes. And if you hadn't already, please silence your cell phones. So we've got 3 bills today, and the first bill up is Senate Committee Substitute Senate Bill 847, Senator Hough.
I'm not else the first. For the committee members in the audience, the committee sub was distributed yesterday electronically to the committee members, and it ends in .03C.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Senator Lincoln Hough, representing the 30th Senatorial District, the good people of the city of Springfield. Before you, for your consideration, I appreciate the time this morning, and I'll be brief. The committee substitute that was distributed largely clean up a lot of Department of Revenue licensing type issues. This is a work in progress, as most of these things are, obviously, but trying to work to make fleet vehicles a little more consumer friendly for the folks who have multiple vehicles that have to be licensed and titled and, repeatedly year after year. So, like I said, happy to work with members of the committee and the department moving this thing forward, but also happy to answer any questions from the committee at this time.
Any questions for the senator? Senator Bernstetter.
So you said fleet vehicles. Is this anybody with a fleet, or is it just farm?
It excludes pest control fleets.
Well, this bill is going to die a slow, painful death.
Senator, I'm pretty sure about everything's on that path this year.
That's true.
Any further questions? Anybody here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 847?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Dan Engelman, Missouri Farm Bureau. I just want to go on record in support. We appreciate the senator bringing this bill forward. Good government bill, and it's going to make farmers and ranchers' lives a lot easier. So, again, appreciate it. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you.
I'm sorry. Hey, we have a lot of vehicles sitting in the shed, and some don't go very far from the farm, and probably maybe get forgotten about except for planting and harvest time. So I think this is a great piece of legislation. Right.
And insurance time, as is noted by the insurance company sitting to my right.
Any other questions for the witness? Seeing none,
you.
thank you. Anybody here else in favor?
Mr. Chairman, Shannon Cooper today representing the Missouri Cattlemen's Association as well as the Missouri Forest Products Association. We just want to go on record in support of the bill. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. In favor of?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Tony Bibbs representing the Missouri Agribusiness Association. We'd like to go in favor.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you for testimony. In favor of Senate Bill 847?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Hit it again.
Hit it again. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Jacob Knable with Missouri Corn Growers Association. Would like to go on the record in support of the legislation. It's a great bill. You're going to love it. Please pass it. Thank you.
Any questions for the witness? Thank you for testimony. Anybody here else in favor of Senate Bill 847? Anybody here opposed to Senate Bill 847? Anybody here for informational purposes only? Seeing none, Senator, do you have any closing comments?
I do not, but I appreciate the time of the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Next up is Senate Bill 1054, Senator Black. All right. Senator Black, the floor is yours.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. I was the one that asked the question, so as I was getting an answer walking across the back, it wasn't very nice, but we know me. I don't have much ethics when it comes to it, or no, that's not ethics. What's the word where you're being nice to people?
Couth.
Couth. Yeah, I don't have that either.
I think you got a lot of couth.
It worked good. Thank you very much for hearing my bill. As you well remember, Senate Bill 1054, we listened to this again last year, and it's been something that I've been working on. And I guess the good thing about taking 3 or 4 years before you get something done, you hopefully improve it and work with many more people that have interest. In Missouri State Fair, in case you guys don't, we won't go through that today, but that's probably, I have a burial plot there. My kids are wanting to know who gets my camping spot when I die, because it's got to be in part of the will and those kind of things. So the State Fair is an important thing for Northwest Missouri and especially my family. With that, the State Fair Commission is something people thought that Rusty Black, an ag teacher, could decide who could get on the State Fair Commission and would yell at me at home when I didn't get the right person on. Well, working with the governor's office over the years since I've been here, we discussed some various things that might be able to help people in that position in the governor's office to be able to expedite and put people on there that really care about the fair and keeping it moving, and maybe get some of the roadblocks as the people in the governor's office have to do. They have to fall in this category, this category, this category. And was that really today what we needed to be looking at? So with a staff member in the governor's office over time, this bill has been put forward. And the only thing that's really changed very much from when I worked with the staff member in the governor's office, last year I increased the number of members on the board, I'll speed this up here in a minute, to 12. Well, with that, for those of us that remember that we have term limits here, so our institutional knowledge is Senator Rusty Black isn't the best in the world. So one of the guys named Lowell Mueller, that a few of you in here will know what it is, Lowell immediately blew up my phone. Why are you changing this to 12, et cetera. So him and I have discussed things back and forth. That may or may not change, but I when saying that, this wasn't a tunnel vision, Senator Black, Representative Black thing. This was something that I want the state fair to be successful. I think this will help. So with that, we got rid of requirement X, Y, Z, D, B, including, and this part has caused a little trouble, but I think primarily the people that are of the Democratic Party that are in a state fair understand that Rusty Black's not, Senator Black's not trying to cause trouble on the Republican-Democrat side. We just want to find people that care about the fair and do that. What your political affiliation with doesn't matter those 11 days of the year and the other meetings. So that part was gone, and it did cause a little stress, but I think I've worked my way through that process and just overall think this would be beneficial for the Missouri State Fair. We added 200 acres. Many of you were helpful in getting that accomplished state. There's a new vision being developed for the Missouri State Fair, and having a good group of commissioners that are dedicated to the future of the Missouri State Fair Showcase for Agriculture. That's what Senator Black is interested in, and other people have joined with me with that. So, any questions?
Thank you, Senator. Any questions for Senator Black? Seeing none. Anybody, did you have a question? Anybody here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 1054? Seeing none. Anybody here to testify against Senate Bill 1054? Seeing that. Anybody here for informational purposes only? Any closing comments? And I do have one question. Would you be open to putting in a provision in here to teach people how to judge horse competitions? Oh, never mind. I think I did my job.
Yeah. Well, I think, though, the fact that nobody come up here for, nobody come up against, informational purposes, there's no back behind this. It is something myself and a person in the governor's office that had to deal with this worked on, come up with this decision, and we're not trying to harm, we're trying to make better. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Black, if you don't care to take the gavel.
Senator, you may begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Jason Bean, State Senator of the 25th District. Senate Bill 1298 modifies provisions relating to cotton trailers. Senate Bill 1298 has two primary provisions. The first modifies the definition of a cotton trailer, a trailer designed and used exclusively for transporting cotton at speeds less than 40 miles per hour from field to field or from field to market and return. This increases that from 40 miles an hour to 65 miles an hour, the maximum speed at which cotton trailers may travel. Why is the speed limit increasing? Is a good thing. Times have changed, trailers have changed, and it's just more efficient, and they're a lot safer than they used to be. Just gets us up with the time. Second provision states that cotton trailers shall not be in violation of a law regulating the securing of loads, providing certain conditions are met and no portion of the load becomes dislodged or falls from the trailer. Current law says trailers carrying goods or materials from farm products which could become dislodged or fall from the vehicle or trailer shall have a protective cover and be sufficiently cured so that no portion of such goods or materials can become dislodged or fall from the vehicle or trailer while being transported or carried. A cotton trailer shall be exempt from the protective cover and sufficiently curing requirements provided as traveling at speeds less than 65 miles an hour from field to field or from field to market and return, and no portion of such goods or materials becomes dislodged or falls from the cotton trailer. Just kind of give you a little bit of a history. Cotton trailer, as this definition was designed, was a best way I could say it's kind of like a basket on wheels. We have moved into whole new ways of how we transport cotton. They're in round bales now. They're completely covered with wrap. They weigh about 6,000 pounds each, so when you put them on a trailer, they do not move. Most of these are going from the field to the gin or a very, very short distance, and we just need to get up with the speed of where the times where we are. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Is there any questions for Senator? Yes, Senator.
Good morning. I have a couple of questions. So this would only apply to trailers traveling in the state of Missouri?
Correct.
I guess. So are there situations where people go to gins like in Illinois or Arkansas or whatever?
Correct. There are gins. A lot of cotton gets transported to Arkansas, for example. Those that would operate on the interstate system, this would not apply to them.
Okay, so that was another. So this doesn't apply to the interstates because the federal government sets the speed limit
I believe
there?
that is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, because that was one of my questions as well. So, and then we tried to do a little bit of research just to figure out how many gins or how many, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of locations. So are we talking about a handful of spots that Missouri cotton farmers are driving to?
Yes, there's not very many gins in Missouri, so this would only cover a small area. And once again, the trailers that this was designed, the original intent, these were very small trailers, not meant to haul many pounds. These new trailers are designed, they're like a semi-trailer. They're designed to haul very heavy loads. It's just a whole different way that we transport them. Once again, kind of go back, if you can just imagine a square basket that's probably 10 feet tall, we would just dump raw cotton in there. Well, that was back the way that I was raised up. Now these baler pickers actually bale a module. They're about 94 inches around. They're wrapped in a very, very heavy protective wrapping. It's just a whole different system than the way it used to be. We're just trying to get up to the speed. But interstate is totally different.
Okay.
Than,
All right. Yeah, I remember seeing some photos of these trailers. I think Representative Roan showed me some
Right.
trailers. They definitely look capable. So, very
Right.
good. Thank you.
Any other questions of the senator? Okay. Anyone here testify in favor, please come forward. The public service announcement, leave your little paper so we know who you are.
Good morning
And begin.
again. Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Dan Engelman, Missouri Farm Bureau. I don't claim to be the resident cotton expert at Missouri Farm Bureau. Might be to my right there in the first row, and then right beside me, of course. So, but again, appreciate Chairman bringing this forward. Again, good common sense bill. I did a quick Google search on cotton trailers, and within 30 seconds, I saw what you're talking about, and those trailers are slick, and it's to me, the current law, in my opinion, 40 miles an hour max speed is actually unsafe with today's traffic, whizzing around you, and cars go plenty fast, pickups, all that. So we get those vehicles up to more to speeds that match today's environment with equipment that can handle it. I think it's a good piece of legislation. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Anyone else testify in favor? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dinoff, State Public Advocate, and Mr. Chairman, I submitted my form this morning online, so is that sufficient? Okay. I'm in support of SB 1298. Today's technology, building methods, construction and structure of the trailers has dramatically changed in terms of dynamics, in terms of economy, in terms of feasibility for farmers. And it just makes a whole lot of sense to allow them to do the speed limit, because if you're ever on Highway 70 or 44 or our other U.S. highways or interstates throughout the state, and you come across a driver who's doing the minimum, which I believe is 45 miles an hour, and you're doing 70, on the interstate in mid-Missouri, it's kind of startling and dramatic, and you really either have to pressure brakes or move to the other lane. So I believe that by, and I appreciate the sponsor, by increasing the speed limit is going to save lives, it's going to save injuries, and Senator Crawford, it's going to save insurance funds and premiums, and I think we can all, it's a win-win all the way around. And so I would encourage the Senate to pass this on to the House and get it on the governor's desk. This is a simple, as the last speaker said, common sense. It makes so much sense, and so much mechanics here that there shouldn't be any controversy, and hopefully it's not loaded up like a Christmas tree. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any questions of the witness? Seeing none. Anyone else in favor? Anyone else in favor? Any opposition? Anyone opposed? Informational purposes only. Oh, come on. I'm going to have to give up my chairmanship here. With that, Senator, any closing remarks?
Nope, thank you very much. So I move that we go into executive session. Do I have a second? Second. All right, we are in executive session. So first up, we're going to vote. First up is vote is my Senate Bill 782 from last week, dealing with the water exportation. The committee substitute was distributed over a week ago, and I'm going to ask Kyle to explain the substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the committee members' knowledge and those in the audience, Senate Committee Substitute for Senate Bill 782 ends in a .05C that was distributed last week. The following changes were made to the bill after reviewing testimony from the committee hearing and receiving input from stakeholders. The three primary changes in the substitute. First, language was added to address concerns expressed by Missouri American Water, who had testified in opposition initially to the bill. They serve some of their customers are across the state line near the Joplin area, and I think one other area. So we added some language in there where their current operations would not be affected by this legislation. In addition, we removed the provisions in regards to the Missouri General Assembly and the governor having the responsibility and ability to review and veto a permit that would be issued by DNR. Some committee members and stakeholders had concerns about the General Assembly being involved in this process, and some of the timelines in place had some issues with the General Assembly only being around 5 months a year. So in place of this, the new review process has the DNR director submitting a permit for review to the State Soil and Water Districts Commission. It's a commission based under DNR that works a lot with our local and regional water and conservation districts, so they'd be a good knowledge base and resource to review the work of the DNR. The intent of this is to kind of have a review process, since the DNR director is appointed by the governor but not elected. So having like a second pair of eyes is kind of a checks and balance on DNR is kind of the intent of that. And then the third change, the length of the permit was changed from 5 years to 3 years, allowing better responsiveness if drought conditions or other issues would arise in Missouri. And that is the committee substitute for Senate Bill 782.
So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we adopt the committee substitute for Senate Bill 70. I have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries. So now we make a motion to vote on committee substitute, outdo pass. I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, Kyle, please call the roll.
Senators Bean,
Aye.
Black, Bernstetter, Brown, Carter, Crawford, McCreary, Razor, Washington. 5-1.
So by your vote of 5-1, the motion carries. The second and last bill up for a vote is Senate Bill 752, sponsored by Senator Justin Brown, regarding the duties of the Joint Committee on Rural Economic Development. I make a motion to vote Senate Bill 752 out, do pass. I do have a second. Any discussion? Senator McCreary.
Just to clarify, there was no sub on this one, so we're still working off the original? Okay,
That's correct.
thank you.
Any further? Any further discussion? Kyle, please call the roll.
Senators Bean,
Aye.
Black, Bernstetter, Brown, Carter, Crawford, McCreary, Razor, Washington. 6-0.
By your vote of 6-0, the motion carries. No further business coming before committee. Oh, wait, I move out of executive session. I make a motion we move out of executive session. Second, we are out of executive session. No further business coming before the committee. I move to motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Have a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, no. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.